My name is Robert, and I've always considered myself a responsible man. I worked hard all my life, paid my bills on time, and tried to leave a legacy for my children. But nothing could have prepared me for the call I received one rainy Thursday morning. That call would unravel everything I thought I knew about my finances, my family, and even my own judgment. It was around 9 a.m. when my phone rang. I didn't recognize the number, but something in my gut told me to answer. On the other end was a woman with a polite but urgent tone. "Mr. Robert Hall?" she asked. "Yes, this is he," I replied cautiously. "This is Margaret from First National Bank," she said. "We need to discuss your account. There have been some unusual activities, and it's very important that you come in immediately." My heart skipped a beat. "Unusual activities?" I asked. "What do you mean?" "There have been several large withdrawals and transfers that don't match your normal banking pattern," she explained. "We need you to come in to verify these transactions before any further action is taken." I hung up the phone slowly, staring out the window at the pouring rain. Something didn't feel right. I had always managed my finances carefully. My mind raced through every recent purchase, every withdrawal. Nothing seemed out of place. And yet, hearing the bank mention unusual activities sent a cold chill down my spine. I quickly got dressed and drove to the bank, my hands gripping the steering wheel tightly. When I arrived, Margaret greeted me in a small office with a serious expression. She didn't waste time with small talk. "Mr. Hall, we've identified several large withdrawals from your account over the past month. Each one was made online and to unfamiliar recipients. Can you explain these transactions?" I felt my pulse quicken. "No, I haven't authorized any of these withdrawals," I said firmly. "I don't recognize these transactions at all." She nodded, pulling up a series of statements on her computer. "We suspected this might be the case. It appears someone gained access to your account. We've frozen your funds to prevent further losses, but we need to report this immediately to the authorities and begin an investigation." I felt my knees weaken. My entire life savings, my emergency fund, the money I had been setting aside for my retirement, it was all at risk. And whoever had done this, it wasn't just a stranger. As I looked closer at the statements, I noticed something that made my blood run cold. Some of the transactions were small amounts, but consistent, almost like they were testing limits. And then there were large transfers that had gone directly to an online account registered under a name I didn't recognize. But here's what truly shocked me. Some of the withdrawals were made from my home computer, which only I used. I leaned back in my chair, trying to make sense of it. How could this happen? I was careful with my passwords, my banking apps were secure, and my computer had antivirus protection. Then it hit me, someone close to me had to be involved. Over the next few days, the bank, the local authorities, and I began piecing together the puzzle. I went through every computer login, every phone transaction, and every bank statement. And then I noticed a pattern. The withdrawals always happened when my son, Kevin, had visited my house. Kevin had always been charming, successful, and responsible. At least that's what I thought. He had borrowed money before, but he had always repaid it without incident. I had never imagined that he could betray me like this. But the evidence was stacking up, and my gut told me the truth. I called Kevin to confront him, choosing my words carefully. "Kevin, I need to talk to you about something serious," I said during a phone call. There was a pause. "Sure, Dad, what's going on?" he replied casually. I swallowed hard. "There's been unauthorized activity in my bank account. Large withdrawals, transfers, all of it. And the records show it happened while you were visiting my house." Kevin laughed nervously. "What? Dad, I would never—" "Kevin," I interrupted, voice rising, "don't lie to me. I've checked everything. The transactions match up with the times you were here. I need you to be honest right now." The line went silent. Then, quietly, he said, "Dad, I didn't know how to tell you." My heart sank. I could hear the hesitation, the guilt in his voice. "Tell me what?" I demanded. I've been in trouble," he admitted. "Debt, bad investments. I thought if I could just cover it for a few weeks, I could pay it back. I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't know what else to do." I felt a whirlwind of emotions, anger, betrayal, disappointment, and a deep sadness. My own son had risked everything I worked for, thinking he could hide it. I wanted to scream, to throw him out, to sever ties. But I also realized that panic and anger wouldn't solve anything. I had to act carefully. Over the next few hours, I worked with the bank and the authorities to secure my accounts. Every login was changed, every password updated, and new security measures implemented. But the real challenge was Kevin. I had to decide, should I forgive him, punish him, or find a way to teach him a lesson that he wouldn't forget? I called him to my house that evening. His head was down, avoiding my gaze. I didn't know how I would begin. "Kevin," I said slowly, "do you understand what you did? This wasn't just a mistake. You could have ruined everything, including your future and mine." He nodded silently. "I know, Dad, I messed up. I'm so sorry. I'll do anything to fix it." I took a deep breath. "There's one way to fix it, Kevin. You're going to repay every penny, and I'm going to make sure you learn responsibility. You'll work here on the farm every day, for as long as it takes to repay me. No exceptions. You'll see what hard work means, what sacrifice means, and maybe then you'll understand the value of trust." Kevin looked up, shock and relief in his eyes. "Dad, I'll do it, anything, I promise." It wasn't an easy path. Kevin worked sunrise to sunset, repairing equipment, tending livestock, and learning the value of sweat and persistence. Every day I watched him grow, not just as a worker, but as a man who had to face the consequences of his actions. He struggled, yes, but slowly. The son I thought I had lost began to emerge again. Months passed, and the farm returned to stability. The money Kevin had taken was repaid, and I could finally breathe again. But more importantly, something deeper had shifted between us. Kevin had learned accountability in a way that no lecture, no punishment could have taught him. And I realized that sometimes, even when betrayal comes from those closest to you, it can lead to growth, understanding, and renewed trust if handled correctly. Looking back, that call from the bank wasn't just about finances. It was about family, trust, and lessons that had to be learned the hard way. I learned that day that even when life shakes you to your core, you can find a way to rebuild not just your savings, but your relationships. And Kevin, he's no longer the reckless young man who thought he could hide his mistakes. He's a man who understands responsibility, the weight of trust, and the importance of honesty. And every time I see him working alongside me, I'm reminded that even in the darkest moments, the right decisions can change everything.